Everybody, and welcome back. Tuesday and the 20th, and another beautiful day in the neighborhood. A bit on the cool side, certainly, to start, and not so warm in the middle, but a warming trend will continue as surface high pressure is going to keep things nice and quiet and beautiful for the next several days. The McGoffin County Public Library Board met in regular session earlier this morning, with most all but one of the members of the board resigning effectively after today's session. We'll take you to that meeting and hear their comments on the matter in just a few moments, and that will be our top story this evening. A few other announcements, of course, will also accompany the rest of tonight's information. One quick one, the Orion and Meteor Shower is set for tomorrow night into the early morning hours of Thursday. A very popular meteor shower. I'll remind you about it tomorrow when I have a little more time. Right now, they're predicting as many as 30 to 50 meteors per hour. They will be visible in both the northern and southern hemisphere, and we're going to have clear skies to accompany this particular shower. I will, as I said, remind you on tomorrow's program. In lieu of the coverage of this morning's McGoffin County Public Library Board meeting, let me right now go to tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau-sponsored community calendar. And with this first announcement, I'm immediately reminded that I hadn't finished it. I'd left it open because I did get a call. The Lakefront Church of God Water into Wine Food Pantry is open tomorrow. They'll be open from 8:30 to 11:30. That's when they'll break for an hour for lunch. The caller didn't leave the end time, and that's why I had left the bottom of it unfinished. So I can't tell you that. I can't tell you that the Water into Wine Food Pantry over at the Lakefront Church of God on Middle Fork at the old Millard Hensley Elementary School, they're opening at 8:30 in the morning. They'll break for lunch from 11:30 to 12:30 and give them time to regroup and then be open again for an unspecified time thereafter. My apologies, but you understand. That is all I've got on the calendar announcements before we turn to funeral service listings. I do have time for a reminder. Announcements are free. Birthdays and anniversaries, too. Got a bunch for tomorrow, by the way. Anyway, mail, phone, fax, email, or Facebook those to us. We'll tell everyone about them. And you can always get your programming on yournewstoday.com. Turning to obituary listings, the McGoffin County Funeral Home has told me of the passing of 83-year-old Billy Marie LeMaster Fletcher of Gun Creek Road in Sagersville, McGoffin County, who was married to Lonnie Fletcher, who preceded her in death. She's survived by 7 sons, Ricky, Mike, David, Larry, Mark, Johnny, and Lonnie Keith, and daughters Judy and Kathy. Visitation is this evening and prior to services, which will start in her honor tomorrow at 1 o'clock, all of which from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Burial will take place afterwards at the Fletcher Family Cemetery at Gun Creek. We also have an announcement in honor of 78-year-old Joe Darrell Pennington of Dayton, Ohio, who passed away on the 17th. He's survived by his wife, Barbara Pennington. He's also survived by 2 sons and a daughter. We're told that a brief visitation beginning at 10 o'clock will be held on this Friday. Services to begin at 1 o'clock that same afternoon. Visitation and services from the McGoffin County Funeral Home with burial at the Pennington Family Cemetery at Falcon. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. Referring back to that surface high pressure, it is going to stay in place, and it's also going to allow some warmer air to continue to build in. We've got some more dry and nice conditions throughout your work week that will come to some sort of an end right around midway through your weekend. So let's go on over to your Licking Valley RECC forecast for now before our top and final headline. After 68 degrees is where we're holding at the 6 o'clock hour. We'll fall back to 36 tonight. We'll do so under clear skies and areas of fog. That's not frost so much, but I think more so areas of fog. Otherwise, once I said clear, like I said, clear skies and a low in the mid-30s. Now that sets us up for a hump day. Tomorrow is Wednesday. It will start off with those, of course, areas of fog lingering, and I think we'll continue to see them up until maybe around the 10 o'clock hour or so tomorrow morning, but otherwise definitely warmer. I didn't get into the 70s today here at the studio, but we should tomorrow. I know I had 77 67 in the forecast yesterday for tomorrow. We've cut that back down to around 74. Still nice. Still fog at the beginning, sunshine in the middle, and mostly clear skies at the end as well, with tomorrow night's low being a little more comfortable at 41 versus the mid-30s. Now that takes us into Thursday, where temperatures continue to climb. They will to around 76 degrees. Once again, starting off with some of that lingering fog from late Wednesday into your Thursday, but once again, sunshine in the middle, a few clouds at most during the evening and overnight hours on your Thursday, and overnight temperatures still continuing to improve to right around 47 degrees. Thursday is the keeper of the forecast this week. Friday's not too shabby. We just fall back about 5 degrees or so, 4 or 5 to around 72. Still mostly sunny skies. A few clouds will work their way into the skyline Friday and Friday night, but partly cloudy at most. Those mostly sunny skies will also see near a 50-degree nighttime low on Friday. Now, all of this is ahead of what's going to change up maybe a little earlier on Saturday than what I had liked and what I predicted 24 hours ago. We'll still see the lower 70s, temperature falling just a bit. Still partly sunny, partly cloudy skies. We have a 20% chance of some showers right now, mainly after 11 Saturday morning. Those increase to about 50% by Saturday night under cloudy skies, as clouds will be on the increase. Check out the nighttime low there. Definitely some warm air moving in and accompanying that chance of rain. 55 degrees for nighttime lows. And that's not too bad at all. We won't recover much, though, on Sunday. Right now, it looks to be a 65-degree day. It also looks as though we'll have that 50% chance of showers up through, I think, early to possibly late morning. A slight chance thereafter, but not as great. 65, and look at the swing. Not much of one. 65 for the high, 51 for the low. I think we'll start off next week in those low 60s again, and I'm talking 61, 62, with a slight chance of showers on Monday and Tuesday of next week. More news, though. Your top headline coming up right after this. Coverage of today's regular monthly meeting of the McGoffin County Public Library Board. Stay tuned. A turn of events today at the McGoffin County Public Library Board meeting leaves the future of the new McGoffin County Library project and the board itself unclear, at least for the time being, after months of controversy over the board's plans to tear down the old Sangersville First Baptist Church building to build a new library on the same site, and efforts by local citizens group that had gathered what they say are now more than 4,000 signatures signed to a petition pleading for the board to save the old Sangersville First Baptist Church and build a new library on either of the two lots offered by the city of Sangersville or the McGoffin County Fiscal Court, who both did go on record asking that the board not destroy the landmark church. All members of the McGoffin County Public Library Board, except one, resigned. David May, still a member from what we understand, resigning were Ronnie Gullett, the chairman, Reva Whitaker, Kim Rudd, and Tracy Watson. They all resigned during this morning's regular monthly meeting. This happening just ahead of this Friday's scheduled hearing, which had been called by McGoffin County Judge Executive Charles Hardin, in which he said in an official letter and form that he planned on removing 3 members with expired terms for what he said in that letter were inefficiencies and a lack of properly preserving the old Sangersville First Baptist Church building. Each member made the following remarks in resigning earlier today, saying that in part they felt that they had been bullied, worked well as a board, and that there had been a lot of instances where they felt they were the subject of a lot of attacks on social media and false reporting.
Let's see. Any other new business come for this?
Yep, I have some things I need to say.
All right.
Past few months have been very stressful, and I'd like to take us back a few months and review some options that this board was given. The first option we were given was to buy some land across from City Hall. I think for the price of $250,000 maybe or more. I'm not sure the exact price. We rejected that option because we felt we had the better land, and it was only going to cost us around $50,000 to tear the church down. So that's $200,000 more that we would have had to spend. So that's the reason we rejected it. So someone came back. Well, actually, the county judge came back with that he could get a grant to pay off that land for us, and that they would give us that land free of cost, to my understanding. But nothing was ever presented to this board in writing. It was only verbal. So, I mean, we were never presented anything in writing. So we did not go along with that option either. It also has been stated that that land was 3 times bigger than our property, which is not true. I think we have the exact square footage.
According to PVA's office, there's a difference of 2,950 square feet. But that's not, we've always been told we can trade for that or buy it, but part of it. So I think there was a back corner,
Yeah,
and that's not taken out. So our lot where the church building stands is 34,200 square feet. That lot is 37,150 square feet.
Your lot that you're talking about doesn't have that usable area. Most of the area on that is to the creek and the river. You cannot, over a half acre, you cannot use.
Well,
Well, that's okay.
Go ahead.
That's okay. At this, and then at one point, I think it was brought to our attention that the sewer and water line, that's the problem with the sewer and water lines, that they could be moved for $200,000. Well, who was going to pay for that $200,000 if someone would have come to us and said, hey, we can get funds to move these water lines? Then we could have proceeded with saving that building and just added on our extension like the original plans started. But no one came to us with that option either, that you say you can get all this money, but you weren't giving us any other options. So I'm not sure what happened there. But in my opinion, if we could have done that, I have read a lot of statements, a win-win situation. To me, that was the win-win situation. But instead, everyone went to social media claiming that what horrible people this board is, and some false accusations and just false reporting, and some people jumped on the bandwagon at that. So we were asked to delay plans. We did that. So I feel that we have tried to cooperate with everything that's asked of us. But still, we had this building for sale for several months. No one ever came to us and said, hey, we could possibly get some funds to buy that building. No one made an offer. You can get funds to do everything else. Why couldn't you get some funds just to, make us an offer? We would have considered it. Everyone said it was a ridiculous price. Still, when something's for sale, you make an offer. If you think it's too high, make an offer. Someone may accept it. I don't know. But anyway, it was never the intentions of this board to tear that church down. I've been working with this board for 4 years, and we've worked very hard to come up with plans to satisfy those who love the church. And we felt we had finally come up with those plans. Even though the building could not be used, we felt these plans could satisfy the church members and everyone else that loved the church. But in a matter of months, everything that we had worked for was dismissed, and we were caught in an ugly battle. In my opinion, the situation was handled wrong, and this board was thrown under the bus. I was placed on this board to do what I felt was best in the best interest of the library, and that is what I tried to do. Not at one time did anybody come to me, anybody concerned about this church. No one came to me to ask me what could be done, how they could change my mind about this. No one came to me to ask me that. So apparently, my opinion means nothing here. But in my opinion, you were able to go to the Facebook and put your expressions on there and talk about our characters and how bad we were and all that. And nobody stopped from doing that. Even today, there was stuff on Facebook. In my opinion, all this seems to be like bullying. And that's just my opinion. But
so your name was actually written on Facebook. Your name?
No, the Board of Education. I am the board.
The board of the library?
Well, the board of the library. I am the board of the library.
But not your name?
That was me. Okay. That's me. The board of the library is me. I feel that this whole board has been bullied. But that doesn't matter. Until today, we have kept quiet, while others has had fun taking jabs at us. Some not even knowing the facts. And the hurtful part is that most people that I have known my whole life. Everyone that knows me knows I'm a very easy to get along with. I'm very quiet-natured and even somewhat shy. And I would never try to diminish someone's character the way individuals have took to social media and done to this board. To some, the fight is more important than the cause, and this does not sit well with me. With this being said, my health and peace of mind is what I must focus on now. I will work on my own projects, which make a difference, that will make a difference someday, and I am not always being judged on those projects. So effective today, I must resign from this library board. I was sworn in on this library board on January 12th, but effective today, I resign.
Thank you, Tracy. You know, I took the oath of office on January the 24th, 2006, filling out the unexpired term of Tom Frazier, who had resigned, and served as on that from, I think he was, after that served for 2 consecutive terms. In fact, my term does not end until May of 2016. Now, I don't know where, David, that you got the 16 consecutive years that you've accused me of serving in a sworn affidavit before the circuit court. That's kind of ridiculous. And you have caused us to have to hire an attorney and spend money to defend ourselves on that. And we have all the facts and everything. Right here's where we took the oath of office on January the 24th of 2006. I think all three of us took the oath the same day. And, you know, it's kind of ridiculous because, David, I would never have thought that you would have perjured yourself in an affidavit that would swear that you had personal knowledge of 16 years that I had served on the board continuously. You know, if anybody had told me 3 months ago that David May would do something like that, I would have said you're a liar. There's no way. And I can't believe that this has happened to you. I want to say something too. When I first got that subpoena, I laughed about it first. It was delivered to us, I believe, on Friday night. Is that what it was? Tuesday. Friday night? The one for
we went to court on.
circuit court, yeah. Friday night. And I laughed about it first, then I got mad. I got angry. And we'd had a preacher at church who just a few days before Sunday night had preached a sermon on forgiveness. And my wife mentioned, said, wait a minute, don't you remember the sermon that the preacher preached? And I got to thinking about it. You know, and he mentioned where in the book of Matthew, I believe it's the 18th chapter, verse 21, where Peter said to Jesus, said, how often must I forgive? Something, I'm going to paraphrase it. How often must I forgive those that transgress against me? 7 times 7? And Jesus replied, no, 70 times 7. And that hit me pretty hard, David, I have to say. And I just, I feel like that, you know, I forgive you. I really do. And I have to. I have to, because that, as a Christian, I have to do that. And I realize that you've been used by a lot of people, and I'd say I think you had to be confused when you signed that statement. And you know, I've been approached by a lot of people that said you ought to sue him for what he's printed false statements against you, sworn false statements against you. I just wonder, David, if I did that, you reckon these same people that helped you pay your lawyer's fees would pay you to defend yourself? I doubt it. I doubt it, seriously. I think they'll throw you under the bus like they have the rest of us, to tell you the truth about it. So I'm going to, today, I have to close this meeting today. I've submitted my resignation to this board too. Anybody else?
Yes, sir. I want the minutes to reflect that I was sworn in on January 24th, 2006. And my first complete term started in May of 2007. And my last term ended May of this year, 2015. And as of the end of this meeting, I resign.
I replaced Greg Conley and was appointed by Bill May. I was reappointed by Dr. Harden. My first term, full term, ended May 31st, 2010, and my second term ended May 31st, 2014. I'm the person at question. My term did end a year ago, and according to the statute, I hold office until I am replaced. I must say that when I started on this board, this was a great working board. We worked together, we stayed together, and we fought it out till we agreed on everything. Now that has no longer happened. I was on the board because Tracy was sick, as you all know. She's had lung transplants, and we had trouble having a quorum. So Bear's name was sent to the state and to Dr. Harden. It took Dr. Harden a year to get him appointed, a year. So really we didn't feel like there was much of a push to send my replacements on. And then when we finally got Bear on, things have changed. There's a lot of people in this room that are real good friends with me, some of you sitting on a different side of the table than I am. But I'm going to have to say that we have worked really hard to have a state-of-the-art library, and I hope that that continues to be so. I also resign at the end of this meeting.
All right. I make a motion that we approve the minutes of this meeting.
I second it.
Motion's been made and seconded that we approve the minutes of this meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, so ordered. Make a motion, the meeting adjourned.
David, I wanted to let you know that you were appointed to fill an unexpiring term, so you're now, and we can discuss that with Tim, your term expired in May. You didn't show up for your first swearing in. I think you said you had a virus. You came to the next. So you were appointed in April, and that term expired in May. So we need, I don't know from this point, if you're starting your first 4-year term now, I just wanted that to be clear, or if we need to, even if you want to continue, or if you want me to submit names for you.
I would according to LRC, his term doesn't expire till next year. The paperwork says there. I don't know what.
That's what's online anyway. We looked it up online.
Here is, and I had this at fiscal court, but this is just, we have papers where these were sworn in, and for David to say that Ronnie was on it for 16 years, you came on in 2004. Was Ronnie on it then?
I feel like it's inappropriate this time due to...
Well, the motion has been made and seconded to adjourn, so this meeting is adjourned.
Reporting on all of this actually goes back to Library Board member David May himself, who first alerted the public to the scheduled demolition of the church building. He was also part of a group of local citizens who had filed a lawsuit in circuit court here in McGoffin County last week asking for an injunction preventing the demolition of the church. May tells me this evening in a brief letter that he penned that he sat quietly by today and let those have their say upon advice of the group's attorney that he not comment during the meeting since those expired members meant there was no quorum to hold a legal meeting and thus he was not to participate. He also says the term limit information which was used to bring about the lawsuit and which was referred to in today's meeting was provided by the Kentucky State Department of Local Government where those records are kept. So today's resignations now removes the necessity and makes moot the point of the scheduled fiscal court hearing, which was set for this Friday, where Judge Harden says he was going to initiate proceedings to remove 3 members from the board, citing neglect on their behalf. This also does away with the scheduled appearance on the 28th in front of Circuit Judge Kimberly Childers. As for the appointment of new members, the timeline and the process of which, well, I'm still trying to get a factual determination on that. And as always, we'll bring you nothing but the facts. With that said, we hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, as beautiful as it is, with more beautiful weather, of course, to come. And as always, tomorrow, as it is piling up every day, more news that you'll only see with me right here on Your News Today. For now, good night, and thank you for watching.